Hello everybody, MorbTron here. Today we are going to be taking a look at the legendary hand cannon Rose, which you can pull out of your collections tab after you complete the exotic quest for Lumina. Now this thing out of the box is a static roll, meaning you can pull it from your collections and it will always have this roll on it. It has a range masterwork, it's a lightweight frame 150, so it increases your handling, and you move faster with the weapon equipped slightly, and gives you a +2 to your mobility hidden. You can't really see it, doesn't increase the numbers, but it's there, so you can strafe back and forth faster, jump a little bit higher, walk a little bit faster. And we have chambered compensator, which makes this thing's recoil pattern incredibly vertical and extremely easy to control. Accurized rounds for that increased range, which does increase aim assist, which is a kind of hidden thing with the range stat itself. And then we have outlaw, we all know what outlaw does. And we have polymer grip. Now we don't have a second trait like other legendaries do. This Rose, is basically set up to be an exotic hand cannon without an exotic trait. So if we look at the Lumina, what it turns into, instead of having outlaw, it has Blessing of the Sky and noble rounds, but still has polymer grip, accurized rounds, and chambered compensator. So the Rose turns into Lumina, but comparing the two, you'll see here that fully masterwork, the Rose does have more range, even though the Lumina does have a smidgen, like one more point of handling, maybe 1 or 2 points of reload, and it has one more in the mag. But comparing it to Thorn, has a little bit less than a masterwork's worth of range, because Thorn actually has a smidgen less, or a smidgen more range than Lumina, but it has slower reload, 2 less in the mag, but has more stability, more handling. Now comparing it to something like a Midnight Coup, you'll see here that the Rose just flat out beats it in pretty much every category, but the Midnight Coup, of course, does have Rampage to go along with its Outlaw. And comparing it to my Spare Rations, which is pretty close to a max range roll, I could have gotten maybe 1 or 2 things that would give it a couple more range points, maybe accurized rounds, but there couldn't have been too much more range out of this other than getting a range masterwork. And if mine was a range masterwork, it would have the exact same amount of range as this Rose. And a good roll Spare Rations is very, very hard to get your hands on because of how time-consuming the farm for those is. But you can pull this Rose straight out of your collections, just like this, every time, masterwork it, and you have yourself a fantastic hand cannon. We're going to hop into some Crucible footage now. Had an amazing game with it. Wasn't only using that, of course, I was using everything in my Titan's arsenal. But we're going to hop into that, we'll do some post-commentary. Alright, so the Rose. It is probably very, very close to being my favorite new legendary kinetic hand cannon to use in the Crucible. I do have a very, very good rolled Austringer, and honestly this thing is nipping at its heels to be my favorite hand cannon out there to use right now. For whatever reason, the Rose just feels so good to use. Now it is extremely comparable when you compare it to its exotic counterpart, the Lumina. The stats are nearly identical. They're basically the same weapon, just the Lumina is the exotic version of it. The only difference is that the Lumina does not have Outlaw, but for whatever reason, the Rose for me just feels so much better. It seems to me like the shots connect more often. It sounds better. It feels better. The recoil pattern feels better. It's more predictable. I don't know why, because the stats are nearly identical. You could try to put it on that, I like to hippity hop around, and the Rose has a Icarus grip mod in it, but even without it, even without being in the air with Icarus grip, it just feels better for some reason. And not taking up your exotic slot to do so feels good. I mean, it not having that second trait, having a polymer grip versus having like a rampage or a insert another trait here, whatever you want. It still feels really good, even though it's got kind of like a year 1 stat loadout to it, or trait loadout, where it only has 1 trait. It has Outlaw. But the base stats on the weapon are just so strong. The range is fantastic, and you'd have to get so lucky with another 150 RPM hand cannon to even come close to what you get with Rose just out of the box. And that's even without upgrading the masterwork to a tier 10. So it's strong. It's strong. And there have been some people saying, oh, it's not worth using because it doesn't have a second trait. That's just not true. I mean, I love the hell out of this thing. Now, the one thing that I will say about it is it's not really that great to use in PvE because it doesn't have a lethality modifier on it. There's no rampage, there's no kill clip, there's multi-kill clip, etc. Moving on. But in the Crucible, I mean, granted, to get a 3-tap with it, you would have to hit 3 in the head, but it still feels so good. And being able to switch to it quickly after, you know, messing somebody up with like a fusion rifle or maybe a shotgun or a sniper rifle, the handling and the, you know, stability on this thing, you can just pull the gun out quickly and clean up a kill from a, you know, special weapon attempt. So, I don't know. It's really good. Let me know, I mean, if you guys have used it, what you think about it versus the Lumina specifically. Personally, I like Rose more than I like Lumina in the Crucible, just as far as a hand cannon goes. I mean, granted, there's no exotic trait to this weapon, but it just feels so good. And it's kind of funny that I was more excited about getting my hands on the Rose than the Lumina in the end of things for that exotic quest line, but I'm going to leave you here with the rest of this footage. There's about, well, there's another, well, half the game, roughly. Enjoy the footage. It's an amazing hand cannon. I definitely would recommend, after you complete the Lumina quest line, pulling this thing out and giving it a try, even without masterworking it. Just giving it a go, seeing what you think, and, you know, let me know. Let me know what you think about it. That is going to be it for this video. So like I said, I'll leave you with the rest of the Crucible match. It's about halfway done now, but if you want to show your support on the video, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that sub button for me. I would greatly appreciate it. But do not forget to have a good day, everybody, and I will catch you all next time.
What can stop you if you fight together? Nothing. Zone A captured. You have zone advantage. One after another. Zone A lost. Captured Zone B. You have advantage. Only 5 minutes left. It's time, Guardian. Crush them. minutes remaining. You captured Zone B. Zone advantage is yours. Enemy can't kill if they're dead. You're getting stronger as you fight. I love it. Hold down. This is amazing. Sound tactics. Zones controlled. Targets eliminated. Nice work.